We really excel at understanding our win conditions and playing together. A lot of what we value in terms of draft and in terms of champions comes from our expertise and our experience in the field, just in casting and everything that we've done as a team overall. And I think with our game knowledge, we can really push ourselves over the edge with what we know about our own champion pools, with what we can find out about our enemies' champion pools, etc. And I think that will give us the edge in this series.
I think what's great about Wash is that, you know, we're kind of lucky to enjoy the company of each other. And that's not something that all teams have really the privilege of. So yeah, I'm really enjoying playing with my team.
Overall, MXL and myself haven't been too crazy over their bot lane this season. We think that we're definitely better than them overall, just in terms of game knowledge and adaptations and team fighting and all of that sort of stuff. I think specifically for my support matchups, there's a reason why at least Utility Monster ranked me first. It's because, you know, I'm the best support in the league, so I'm not too scared about any other supports there. Of course, I will give respect to any players that we go up against, so I'm not going to go in there thinking that I'm infinitely better than them, but statistically, it's just been showing that I know my stuff. Honestly, Bill the Pony, Wednesday, whoever I'm going up against, I'm not scared of you.
So all I remember is the first game. I don't know if I faced them that second game. Hopefully we don't have an internet gap like last time. But now that I'm back from, you know, my training arc, I'm really looking forward to facing them. And you know, I don't know if there's a lot that I can take away from the first game, especially since there have been roster changes. But I am really looking forward to this matchup. You know, I'm kind of going in blind, so that's always exciting.
And best of luck to Team Wash today. It's going to be a fun series nonetheless, no matter what the result is. Excited to see what this series has in store, but there's no way that we're going to be going down without a big fight.
Katarina who? I don't know.
to just result in so much devastation if that Ashe gets picked off.
If this is a Lulu pickup, is this going to be a Blitzcrank jungle?
I would love to see that. Throw Udyr in the top lane. That would be really, really cool.
All right, it is going to be a Vex lock. Okay, looks like it is going to be Blitzcrank support.
Mm-hmm.
Kaisa, yeah, Ashe Yuumi is very vulnerable to that Blitzcrank, I would say. You get hooked one time and the lane kind of falls apart. You don't have a lot of defensive options there. We do see a lot of respect bans again coming out for Jaffe. Very, very scary up in the top lane. You see Aatrox ban, Gangplank ban, and then they end up picking up Mordekaiser, which I think should do pretty well into anything that Jaffe's looking to play here today.
Absolutely. Like that's going to do very, very well, I think, into most of the things that Jaffe would play. It's going to be kind of one of those hinky things. I think hovering the Amumu is interesting here. Like, I don't know where that would even fit.
Ooh, it's got to be jungle, right? With Udyr top?
That would be my assumption there. I don't know if I'd be super down for it. I mean, it's a lot of hooks on the side of Team A, which is a lot of hard engage, so it'd be really good. But we're having a swap over to a Darius.
Yeah, I think that's a way better pick. I think that's going to do really nicely into Mordekaiser. I think Jaffe's a very strong top laner on that Darius pick. I think he's going to have a really, really good game here. Really, overall in this draft, I would have to say that I like a little bit better here. Team Wash just looks like they're pretty vulnerable to a lot of what is looking to do here. And they don't have a lot of defensive, get off of me options.
Yeah, I see. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I would say has a little bit of advantage. I'd say they have a lot of advantage because basically everything on their side wants to hard engage, wants to get on top of their targets. And there's a couple of avenues in Wash's kit that's basically just going to let them do that. Diana's going to dive in on that backline, and that's immediate where Darius is like, hello, okay, I like this. And then Mordekaiser pulls you in. It's exactly the same. I think basically we're going to have to hop onto the riff and kind of like see how it plays out. But I really think kind of has this as an 8-2 in my opinion.
Yeah, it's really going to be down to how Team Washed ends up playing this one to see whether or not they're going to be able to garner any sort of advantage against this. I'd say at this point, yeah, probably dominant draft here from Team A. Going for the mid bush. Okay, I like it.
Yep, hopping right onto the riff. We're just already in it. We got the 5-man death bush right there, but Wash does not take the bait, doesn't have anybody walk into lane, so we don't have to worry about that. Early level 1 blood, which I would love to see.
I mean, yeah, when you have a Blitzcrank support, I mean, really, are you going to do anything else with that?
Yeah, it's like you got to assume that they're going to invade. You don't do anything but invade with that.
That is kind of the dream there, yeah.
Yeah.
Dream hook, first blood, big advantage right off the start of the bat.
Okay, so like taking a look at things and how things are about to start playing out. Hold on, I think we got a bit of a pause over on the actual stream as of right now.
Working through some NA production issues right now.
We've got some NA production, as you can see, some of the behind the screen, don't look behind the curtain sort of situation.
Okay, no worries. Still way better than LPL production quality, and they get millions of viewers. All right, so we're chilling. It is going to be blue start from both junglers, probably both. Oh, man, Udyr just clears his camp so fast. It is crazy. You can see Diana still working on her blue, and Udyr's already almost done with his Gromp. Absolutely insane.
Yep, and like looking at the way these two junglers have set up, we can already see that Diana is doing a top-down clear and Udyr is doing the reverse. So we're going to be seeing ganks early in this game, I think, on the opposite sides. Diana definitely wants to shore up that bot lane, I think. Like we said, like we both were like, hey, that Blitzcrank is going to basically destroy this Ashe bot lane. So Diana's clearly come down there to help with that.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see a very aggressive play here from Team Oz. Bot lane off the start. Kaisa, Blitzcrank, a lot of early game damage. Not a whole lot Yuumi really can do about it. But it looks like if you're Team if you're Udyr, you're looking to play around your top lane. You're looking to play around Jaffe, get him an early advantage against Darius. Against Mordekaiser. Because once Darius is ahead, he's going to stay ahead. And it's very impressive for PJ Salt to play into that.
Yeah. Now, Fish, if you were in, let's say, Team As position, or like you kind of already mentioned, Team Wash's position, what is the first objective you think is probably on your mind? Are you thinking you're going to want to delay that dragon or go straight for that Rift Herald?
I think dragons right now are so strong that I would probably much prefer the dragon over the Rift Herald, considering also that it buys you a lot of space later in the game. flashing on ooh. Okay, he lives. Jaffe flashing on PJ Salt there. Very, very aggressive play. But yeah, as I was saying, I'd probably go for the dragon. It buys you space later in the game. It means that you don't have to start fighting for those dragons until later if you don't want to. And I really don't think the first Rift Herald is that impactful. It gets you, maybe 320 gold. Let's say you get 2 plates out of it. I think it's the second Rift Herald that ends up being the more impactful one when you can actually bring down the turret.
Yeah. Ooh, interesting situation just down there in the bot lane. I was kind of expecting Diana to loop around, go in on the Blitzcrank before. Like, I thought it was a baiting back. I didn't think that was an actual B on the side of Rare Adam. However, that does mean that Rare Adam's probably going to just start rotating, I think. They're pathing back bot now. It looked like they were heading mid lane.
Yeah, so far, fairly, I wouldn't say sleepy game, but no one has died yet. Mid lane's going pretty even. Top lane is pretty even. Ash Yumi's actually doing a really, really good job, it seems like, of, surviving against Blitzcrank, not getting hooked, not getting knocked up or anything like that. Jaffe may be slightly at a disadvantage against his Mordekaiser here, considering that he's gotten the gank from Udyr, and now PJ Salt does have Ignite, where Jaffe doesn't have his combat summoner.
God X Anime spending a lot of time in this bot lane. Rare Adam does throw out the hook, does manage to actually catch Erebus, and the Ignite's going to get dropped, which means Erebus is going to go down. Healing is not going to be enough, and that is going to be a terrible trade for Team Wash and a beautiful one for Ash.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great start for the game for Team A right there. Goes on the Blitzcrank, unfortunately, not on the Kaisa where you'd prefer it, but still, first blood is first blood. Kaisa going to be picking up that assist there.
Like, that's like, if it's an Ignite first blood, I kind of don't feel too bad about it because you're like, it's a kill secure in that sense.
And Blitzcrank does so much damage this patch now. It's crazy.
Gross. And it's like he's going to be doing even more next patch.
Yeah, they're adjusting him to be even more, I think, more deadly, but trying to pull some of that power away from support Crank as it is so dominant in the meta right now.
Ooh, good root on the Katarina. They are able to get them grounded, and then we're going to have Diana jump over the wall. However, we got the fear coming out, means Pure Llama is not able to continue the engage. So it's just GodX Anime trying to do what they can, but ends up running right into Red, who is there to protect their mid laner. Very well coordinated, I think, out of Team A. They're kind of anticipating where Wash wants to be, and Udyr so far has been able to take advantage of that.
Oh yeah, and the champion's so fast. It's not that difficult to reposition yourself to be exactly where your team needs you to be. We can see he picked up the Swifties already.
Oh, Jaffe brought into the death realm by a full health PJ Salt does pull the Mordekaiser under the tower, which means that the disengage has to come out. Very well played, and so now they're back under the safety of their turret, but they could be threatened by a dive from Mordekaiser here, but Red is there to distance sway that.
Yeah, no death from Jaffe there. Just a little shake it up. But Mordekaiser's like, hey, no ult here. Just come top, easy kill, right? Something like that. At any rate, we do see actually a pretty decent CS lead for Pure Llama here in the mid lane on that on that Cassiopeia, exactly the champion you want to be on.
Red going in after the claw, so they know that they're going to have an advantage there. Jaffe does manage to get the huge execute out as the guillotine comes down.
Boom. Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. Mordekaiser, once you don't have your Death Realm online, it's pretty easy for you to get ganked. You need to be very, very respectful of that lane, especially because Jaffe knows exactly what we're talking about right now. He knows exactly the situation. He says, hey, Red, come top lane, boom.
And those pings that were coming out, I believe, were from GodX Anime saying, hey, I'm going to come top, let this guy push so that you can actually let me get a gank off. And Red was just way ahead of the game there.
Yeah.
So it's you can kind of already guess. In my opinion, it feels like has Washed's number. And so they're just basically trying to play it. So Wash needs to come up with something creative here in order to kind of start to retake the momentum of this game.
Yeah, it seems to me like Washed, their hope for this game is on this Cassiopeia, as she has such a demanding CS advantage in the mid lane, and we know that the champion scales so well that if they're somehow able to make it to the late game without too much of a disadvantage, I think she could really start throwing out a lot of damage. Unfortunately, we do see triple AP topside here from Team Wash, which means that like Darius, Udyr are going to be able to just stack magic resistance and be so tanky against these champions in the late game. And it's not like Ash as an ADC is going to be able to really punish him that badly for it, considering the damage output is not really where you need it to be.
Oh, the damage coming out right there. Pure Llama does so much so quickly. They missed the ultimate, unfortunately. Vex was able to continue, just chose to continue walking back, so they weren't actually stunned. But right here, that is the thing you got to be afraid of. Those minions look like they're blocking for you, but they are not, as Rare Adam hooks the Ash right through them. And then we've got poor MXL able to pick up that kill. The 5-stack attack does so much damage.
Yeah, great pickup there. Another kill for the Blitzcrank. It's going to be
Oh, we got the ultimate fear coming out onto Pure Lava. Pure Lava getting ripped to shreds by the Vex. Their fears are brought to life, and we got now a skirmish here in the top lane. This could go very poorly for PJ Salt if he lets himself get bled out like this. You may be made of metal, but that doesn't mean that Jaffe isn't going to be able to kill you. Broad Solo, the Executioner's Guillotine is there, and he is killed in his own death realm.
Yeah, very, very close fight there from the top lane. A lot of combat all of a sudden going on here. Really impressive play by Katarina in the mid lane, though. I mean, you knew exactly your limits there. Said, all right, listen, I might be low on health, but so is Cassiopeia. Presses R, goes in, blows her up real quick, says, all right, no problem. Huge gold advantage for Team A at this point, about 2.5k gold at 9 minutes.
All right, what do you do? What do you do now? If you got to stall this out, what do you do?
Oh, okay. If you're Team Wash, you really just need to stop the bleeding. You gotta, it may sound a little cliche, but you just gotta play safe. You gotta make sure you're not dying. You're not getting solo killed in these, in these solo lanes. And you gotta try to get some macro.
Or you play overly aggressive and go in on the Jaffe who decided to overstay their welcome, trying to get him out. The flash is gonna get out, and the ignite is gonna get the kill. And we see the shutdown go on the cat. That is not a good thing.
Hey, all right, listen, you'd be surprised how much damage that kitty can pump out, okay? Very, very aggressive cat, all right? They fed her catnip. She'll be very, very happy. A lot of damage from that Yumi if she decides to go Ludens, which it may be, considering that her, all she's got right now is that book.
That might end up going the way that they want. They've got the book going. You've got the Dark Seal on the Yumi as well, so it definitely seems like they're going, hey, we should probably just go for the straight damage on this. Ooh, the arrow comes out just a little bit early, and unfortunately, Rare Adam is outside of the turret range, and you've got so much damage coming out of this Kai'Sa so quickly that the Ashe just gets completely burst down.
Yeah, wow. Honestly, really, really fantastic macro play there from Wash. They got the kill top lane. They immediately transitioned to the Rift Herald, and looks like they're gonna be looking to drop it top lane now. Get Mordekaiser a little bit more fed here. Really nice pickup, actually, I'd say. And then they're gonna get even more of a gold swing back with this Rift.
Yeah, they'll get about 2 turret plates off of that and start working on the third. Unfortunately, just too much tankiness in those plates right now.
Gotta be careful, Vex is here.
Vex is there, and so that's actually, they got stopped by the Cassiopeia roam.
Yeah,
we are going to see some damage come out. Grounding once again. However, that is another miss, or the ultimate did not come out. There it is. It does miss, though. Like I called it ahead of time. It's as though I could see what was about to happen. Then you have Red joining this fight, and unfortunately, Llama has no cooldowns left, and they are going to get completely destroyed by the Udyr. And that is going to be another trade of kills that just continues to extend the gold lead for Team A.
Yeah, I think if you're Pure Llama there, that's actually totally fine with you. Getting that money as Cassiopeia is very,
sure
very...
what GodX Anime was thinking. They went in on this. It's a little bit hard when you're up against an Udyr. You're gonna get burned away as the blizzard damage just continues to take away those health bars.
Yeah, just gets blown up. Barely dies from that ticking damage there. Wow. See, the Darius actually ends up going for the Stride Breaker this game, not the Triforce. Went for the Stride Breaker. A lot of champions, I think he needs to run down. I understand exactly what he's doing there.
Yep, he's got a lot to chase down, and then it's also one of those things where if they decide to go in on you, you want to make sure they can't get away.
Yeah, exactly.
So very beautifully played, or very, very good decision making, I think, on the part of Jaffe there. Jaffe's itemization has always been pretty good overall, and now this is where you got another thing to be worried about with a Blitzcrank, where they're just going to rotate around your turret. You might see them, but if they're on either side, it doesn't really matter. They're just such a huge threat.
Yeah, and even if you do see them, what are you going to do about it necessarily? I mean, they're so suffocated down here in the bot lane. It's really, really difficult for them to establish vision here. So I have a really hard time seeing how they're going to be able to get these dragons.
Does have the mechanics to just barely sidestep that.
Yeah, really, really close look there. All right, what's your prediction for what dragon we're going to have this game? Can't be Ocean. Can't be Hextech. I'm going to say Cloud. I just got a feeling it's going to be a Clown Soul game.
It could be a Clown Soul game. You know, whenever they added in the Hextech and the Chemtech drakes, it completely threw off my algorithm, so I was no longer able to figure it out. But we've got a fight here in the mid lane. The Yubi Red does go CC immune. Pure Llama trying to do some damage, isn't able to do much, unfortunately. They're going to get completely blasted out by the
big
Kai'Sa.
knock up. Boom.
That health bar was just gone.
Yeah, right on Kaisa. Yeah, boom.
Yeah. I honestly, I feel like it's a Mountain Drake game. I don't know why.
Mountain Drake. It could
But
be.
yeah. Jaffe, here we go. Taking the blue buff, 2v1, and this is the power of the Darius trying to see what they can do. Not quite able to do it, and then we see PJ Salt take him out. The Mordekaiser getting his revenge. Unfortunately, Darius is at that point now where you need 2 people to deal with him.
Yeah, no, he's very, very scary, especially considering the Mordekaiser still doesn't have his first item, and Darius does. He's got a pretty big lead in that regard. Unfortunately, he's going to be dead for this dragon, so I'm curious if Team Wash is going to want to commit to it, or if they're just going to let it go, because they still are a pretty sizable amount of gold down this game. However, letting Team A go up, 0-2, 2 dragons up on them can be very, very dangerous for later in this game, because if you get the, Dragon Soul is so powerful these days that once you get it, there's really not a whole lot you can do to come back.
There really isn't. We do see that there's a great push in this bot lane. Ashe has already got the Kraken Slayer, so they're ready for those tankier threats. It's going to be good for the Udyr, and it's going to be good for the Darius. I don't know if the lack of mobility, though, that a Gale Force would give you, I feel like that's going to be missed, because you've got Vex ultimate to dodge, you've got the Blitzcrank hooks to dodge. There's a lot of things that you need to avoid getting hit by. I feel like a Gale Force would just be so much better. Look at this. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. You have the hook throw out, and instantaneously the cat is dead, gone. And then we got Rare Adam getting bursted down. But it looks like they're going to be mostly fine as they're able to walk away. Udyr has now stepped in on this backline. The Blizzard doing so much damage. They are going to get shut down by the Cassiopeia because they just go a little bit too deep. But the health bars that are missing at this point do mean that Wash is not able to contest. There is no TP on this Mordekaiser, so he will not be able to join in these fights when he's halfway across the map.
No, absolutely not. And we do see Jaffe is going to opt to beat down this turret here in the mid lane. He actually takes it pretty quickly, surprisingly. Kind of big shutdown there. Cassiopeia getting the Udyr, best champion to put it on, I'd say. She's going to be doing a lot of damage. Going to be pretty scary if they don't respect her this game.
Yeah, and we don't see a lot of MR coming out quite yet. We're only on the second set of items, though, so we're only seeing the Merc Treads, and that's really about it. The Vex has a Dark Seal, but it hasn't got any stacks on it because they keep getting taken out.
Yeah, no, poor Vex is not having the best game of her life this time. We do see Pure Llama is having a really nice performance, all things considered, I would say. It's got the highest CS in the game except for Kaisa.
Yeah, I think if you're Wash, you just put the cat on Cassiopeia for like basically the rest of the game at this point.
I
continue to accelerate
100% agree. 100% agree. You put that cat on Cassiopeia, you give her tons and tons of AP. Looks like the cat is opting for the Ludens build. Looks like she is going Artillery Yumi. Going to be a very angry Meower.
That is a very angry Kit Kat. Right now, we do have the entirety of Washed sitting on this Drake. They're just going to burst it down instantly. So we do have that. It's going to be a Cloud Soul. You called it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm surprised. But, you and me, Sherigan, I just had a feeling it was going to be a Clown Soul this game.
Yep. You just anything that makes the cat that much more frustrating to deal with.
Precisely. You already knew. Really. I think that's actually huge. Trading Rift Herald for Dragon there. I honestly, if you're Team Wash, I think you take the Dragon. Because even though the second Rift Herald is pretty valuable, you really don't want going up, 2 dragons to 0 for you.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. So it's like with early Rift Herald, you're not going to get a lot of damage necessarily onto the turrets, but you're going to get a bunch of extra gold because of the number of plates you can take. But that second Rift Herald will just shred through the health bars on the turrets that you're able to take multiple with one drop if you place it right. And unfortunately for Wash, they just don't have a lot of defenses that they can afford to lose.
No, not at all. I mean, if you're Team A, I'd love to see a macro play here. Maybe take the Rift Herald top lane and break down those 2 top turrets. The first one's already pretty low. One charge should break it, and then if you maybe commit 3-4 people there, get both turrets. A lot of gold from that one.
Yeah, no, I feel like you could easily get an inhibitor take off of wherever they decide to drop this.
You probably could get an inhib take, but I don't know if you really want one this early in the game. Rare Adam, thinking about it, says nope, no hook for you, buddy.
And now we're back to a bit of a slower portion of the game. We are going to see some fights back and forth, but I really feel like with this gold lead, it's pretty hefty. I mean, it is not as much as you would think with a 5 to 10k scoreboard or 5 to 10 scoreboard being only at about 4k or 3k. So it's still very close in that sense. But it's gonna slowly start slipping away for Wash if they are not able, because they just don't have the scaling, unfortunately.
You think so? It's interesting. It's interesting to look at that because Cassiopeia does scale so well, but then like Ashe ADC does not scale at all. Yumi scales fantastic. I don't know. I'm not convinced that Wash really scales that badly compared to Team A. I don't know. Cassiopeia is just so scary in the late game. So much DPS potential from that champion, and then Mordekaiser's no slouch. Yumi's no slouch either. The issue I think becomes the fact that you have almost no physical damage, meaning it's just so simple if your team to just stack magic resistance and win the game.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying that just in nature of Team A is because you've got the Blitzcrank and you've got the Vex. Those are two champions that have just completely immobilizing CCs, basically, where you've got the fear from Vex that's going to make it to where Cassiopeia literally has to stop doing whatever it is she's doing. And then Blitzcrank can just silence her, so all she's able to do is auto attack. So for those couple of seconds in between, you time those fights right, you pick the right target, and Pure Llama is going to get burst down before they have a chance to actually do anything. They haven't picked up a Zhonya's yet. I really think that's something they need to be putting in their pocket.
Yeah, it looks like they are going for the tier item first thing. We do see the Wit's End from Kaisa already. A lot of magic resistance for everybody on Team A. Negatron cloaks up in the top side of the map as well. It's going to be a really hard time if you're Team Wash right now, winning team fights here.
Like you said, they build that MR. It's just going to be really advantageous for them.
But yeah, like you were saying earlier, I think you're absolutely right. One Blitzcrank hook could be, the end of the game after maybe 30 minutes, something like that, when the respawn timers are long enough. You step out of position a little bit too far, Blitzcrank hooks you, and the game's over.
All right, we got Darius here taking down this top turret. They are trying to take it without dropping Herald. Herald's only got a couple of seconds left. So they are going to need to drop it. It does look like we're going to see a fight here in this topside jungle. We got the Ashe jumping right onto UB Red. Red getting stunned up like crazy. He's going to get burst down before they have a chance to get out of there. We got a lot of dashing coming in and out as Godix Enemy does go in and out trying to get away. However, we're seeing the fight continue. Cassiopeia throwing out the ultimate, does not find a target, gets grounded. We see Vex get grounded, not able to continue. We have PJ Salt on the back line trying to do what they can. They're doing so much damage. The Yumi completely obliterating with the Cassiopeia, so much AP, and that is a fight that does end up going in the favor of Team A, and I really feel like Wash got very lucky there.
Yeah, wow. I cannot believe, honestly, I cannot believe that Team Wash ended up winning that fight, and so decisively too. Only Jaffe ends up walking away from it with a couple kills. It just looked so disjointed for Team A there. I felt like no one really was on the same page. Although it took Red such a long time to actually die to that Diana there, nobody really backed him up until he was so low and just with no damage coming out against like anyone significant on Team Wash. Mordekaiser being very disruptive with his ultimate there. It was a really tough fight for A to maintain their team fighting capabilities there. Now this Darius is huge, but the issue is that you just swung so much gold back towards Wash. They're only down about 1,500 gold now. I think
they're only down 1,500, and you're
really starting to bring momentum back for this game.
They are. They're doing a really good job of that. You've got this dragon that's getting started up right here. I don't think they're going to have time to contest it, though.
No, Mordekaiser with no ults, it might be a little sketchy. Everybody else has it. Well, he's going to have it, actually.
The Ashe Arrow is going to find a target, but unfortunately it's going to find the rare Atom. Then we have Jaffe getting pulled back into the background. They did throw out the Decimate already. There it goes. It actually finds a target. They do get a lot of healing, but it's not going to be enough as they get burst away. PJ Salt taking him into the Death Realm does manage to pick up the kill, so now he's got the extra stats. This is a fight that is going hugely in the favor of Team Wash. They are completely obliterating Ad. There's nothing they can do. Erebus doing so much damage along with Cassiopeia, and the cat keeping them alive. This is where their comp starts to scale. This is where they're starting to do very well.
Yeah, I think that was absolutely fantastically played there from Team Wash. You could see them focusing down Darius at the start of that fight as he's the most dangerous right now, I think. And then after that point, PJ Salt just standing
taking that Baron.
Wow, I don't know if this is the right call. It's going to take him a while, but maybe not. Oh my god.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
That it's already almost gone. The cat doing so much. okay, I think we might have been wrong about the way this game scales. I feel like the Ashe is actually doing a lot of damage right now.
Yeah, they did buff her attack speed ratio on her Q recently, so she really does scale a lot better than she used to, I guess.
That's what
Wow.
it was. I knew there was something I was missing. Yes, with that higher attack speed, it is going to be so devastating getting caught out by those frozen arrows.
Wow. They took that Baron way faster than I thought. I cannot believe that. Only 3 of them too. It's only 22 minutes when they started it. That's crazy.
Yeah. Lethal
yeah,
tempo Ashe. Gross.
In that last team fight, PJ Salt, after the Darius died, just standing in the middle of Team A, and his passive is burning all 4 people down. Is so much damage. Crazy, crazy. And we actually see Wash is up about 800 gold now.
They are up 800 gold. You've got 3 items on the Cassiopeia. They've already got the Oblivion Orb. Ooh, that is a huge arrow that's going to get cleansed away, but it's fine because the cleanse is on a much higher cooldown. Rare Adam getting obliterated as well. Their health bar is non-existent, essentially. That is such a scary moment to be in. You are facing a multi-Baron team. I think they were able to get all 5 members up before they took that Baron. But,
yeah.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think all 5 members have the Baron, actually. Wow, this game is starting to look really, really Washed favored here. Although I do think that you want to try to end this game sooner rather than later here with this Baron. You have a really, really big advantage over your opponent right now. I think you want to try to push for as many turrets, as much gold lead as you possibly can, while you have, the upper hand.
Yeah. Oh man, that is just absolutely ridiculous. This is a really scary spot.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we were saying, this Ashe actually ends up scaling a lot.
Jumping in on a Katarina. Katarina burst down a lot faster than I thought they would.
Nah, Vex is not exactly a tanky champion, huh? Wow, dies instantly. Poor guy. Wow.
All right.
This,
I mean, push
how
in the bot
quickly
lane. I guess Wash did exactly what they needed to do.
I guess so. I mean, this game flipped so quickly there with a couple really strong team fights. Just, slightly misplayed by Team A, and now they're, on the back foot.
They are on the back foot. Rare Adam throwing out a hook does not find the target they want. They hit the cannon minion instead. So that is going to be a little bit unfortunately. It's a low enough cooldown, but there are no minions now to bait Washed in to continue to push this turret. I do like the amount of siege potential that Washed has. So they're just basically roaming as a 5-man death ball. Erebus stepping out to the side is going to find a couple of members. That Crystal Arrow is going to find Rare Adam. Rare Adam is going to be able to get away. PJ Salt takes Ashe into the Death Realm, so they are fighting 1v1. Vex manages to find the Cassiopeia, does take them out. Jaffe is going to get killed as we see PJ Salt able to take him out of the equation. That is going to be really, really scary for Team Wash as they lose multiple Barons off that fight.
I think it's a decent fight at the end of the day. You went even. The Baron's going to be down in a little bit anyway. I don't really see how you were getting this turret. It's a whatever team fight, I think. I don't think it mattered too badly, but it does show that AAA certainly is not capable, isn't out of this game yet for sure. They can still hold their own as long as they make the right decisions, as long as they have the the correct macro plays. I think A is definitely still in this game.
Oh, absolutely. They really, really are. I feel like if they can get enough tank onto their Rare Adam, onto Jaffe, and onto UB Red, they can start to kind of defend more against this scaling that's coming out of the side of Team Washed. They got to get those items onto their champions, though, before they're actually able to do it. And I don't know if they'll be able to get there quick enough with how quickly this Pure Llama is scaling into this game. They're already at 3.5 items. You or basically almost got that Morellonomicon built. I believe that's what they're going for. This dragon is going to be a huge fight. It is going to put on Soul Point, but still, this is getting kind of scary.
It is getting kind of scary. And if you're Jaffe on that Darius, the reason why he's looking like this in these team fights is either Darius is is an all-in champion, right? You either get that first kill with your ult, you get the reset, and you keep going.
Ooh, Crystal Arrow goes wide, does not find a target this game, so the go button was not pushed. We do see that has the advantage. They've got the ultimates available. They're just looking for that hard engage. Rare Adam's looking for the flank. He's trying to find a way around the side. Does look like he might be able to sneak away there, but PJ Salt has already started to cut off that side of the jungle. So we're going to have to see a pincer happen here very, very soon.
A lot of cold feet here.
Oh, man, so many whiffed abilities that are just like, if one of them hits, the go button gets pressed. You got the Diana Crescent. You got the Vex Sphere. Oh, this is getting so tense.
Blitzcrank does have that Hex Flash. I'm curious if he wants to try to make a play with it. He's just sitting in the bush. He's like,
you call it. Oh, no, he goes in the other direction.
Yeah, so I mean, so many cold feet this game. Everybody's so scared to go in because the game is so close at this point. You have to be really, really careful. One bad team fight could decide who is going to be the winner and who is going to be the loser.
Ash has been peppering this with arrows. They do have the charge available. They're ready to start dropping the attack speed buff. Looking for the hook. Does find the target. Does manage to catch Erebus out. Erebus is going to get burst down. We see the shutdown go onto the Udyr. That is going to be devastating because there's no AD damage coming out for the side of they're just getting completely shredded now. They don't have the health bars as this fight starts to go in the way of they are actually able to do it, but PJ Salt gets a massive double kill with one swing of that hammer, a triple kill. They go golden. Katarina's looking for the engage, gets completely obliterated by that smacking base. It's just doing so much damage. MXL though, looking to finish this off, getting the shots off. Kai'Sa gets the shutdown, keeping the thing from being a pentakill, and the ace comes out. Man, that was one heck of a fight.
Wow, PJ Salt there on that Mordekaiser just doing so much damage, and with that stopwatch is able to live for so long. Absolutely insane. I actually can't believe MXL was, managed to get that kill on Mordekaiser there. One misstep, he gets hit by one big swing of that hammer, and he's dead there. It does manage to shut down the pentakill. Wow. MXL there really showing up for the fight.
And I believe that was a 700 gold, or it had to be greater than 700 gold
on the
bounty on the Mordekaiser because he's got 400 left now. So that is a lot of gold into this Kai'Sa's pocket.
I don't think you get shutdowns if they're in the middle of a multi-kill, right?
No, you still get the shutdowns.
Oh, you still get the shutdown? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not then. Maybe he had a big fat shutdown. He already got it. He's still huge.
Lord Doms. They had a Dirk, and they finished the Lord Doms off of that.
That's going to be a huge difference for how much damage that Kai'Sa's outputting.
Not to mention, and they got a crit cloak, so that is going to be a lot of attack speed, a lot of crit. We might start to see these tanks get shredded even faster. Kai'Sa's slowly starting to get to the point where they're able to compete with the Ashe. See, I think with the way these two comps work, when you look at the Ashe versus the Kai'Sa, because it's that 5-hit ability, and you don't have a Ginsu's on Kai'Sa, her damage just doesn't come out quite as quickly. Got a TP coming out. We got Udyr trying to stop this Baron call. They knew that it was going on. Baron is brought so low, but unfortunately, Red is not able to get in to get the smite off. We see PJ Salt throw out the Death Realm. Does pull Ducant into the Death Realm and manages to take them out. But look at this. We got the huge engage on the back line. Diana getting the 3-man ultimate. Jaffe trying to get the shutdown. Does not get the execute, which means that they're going to get chased out of there. Red now getting slowed by the Yuumi. Kirillama looking for the engage. A full health bar. Cassiopeia and Godex Anime. That is a fight that did not go the way that wanted, and Wash is trying to clean their clocks.
Wow, I mean, it's honestly just insane how oppressive Wash is looking this game compared to at the start of the game. I think going on Mordekaiser there was absolutely the wrong decision, considering that he has the Zonias, he has the Death Realm, and he was able to stall just for so long, and then he ends up in the middle of the enemy team doing so much damage. Yep. Jaffe really telescoping in on that Ashe there, dives into the back line of the team, not able to pick up the Ashe, ends up dying for it. And now Wash is in a perfect position to win this game here. They have Baron. They have the whole team online. Looking really, really bad here for Team A.
It's looking terrible. Look at this. The Diana's going to get hit up, but look how little damage they're taking. Godex Anime is so tanky, relatively speaking. We got PJ Salt going in on this backline. The Mordekaiser is basically able to 1v4 this game, just running in there. There's nothing they can do to stop him, but the damage is starting to come out as Jaffe manages to get a couple of good hits, and MXL is getting the passive off. This is why you don't want a Kai'Sa being allowed to auto-attack you multiple times. Kurlama getting completely shredded. The Baron is gone already. That lasted maybe 30 seconds, and now we're going to have a huge push coming out from the side of Team A, and they're going to try and do exactly to Wash's base that happened to theirs, but I think they might actually be able to take it a little bit faster.
Yeah, I think they actually can take it a little bit faster. Well, maybe not, actually. Diana takes turrets so fast. But
thank you, AP damage.
Yeah, thank you. Big shout out to Riot Games for AP damage. Anyway, wow, what a swing. I mean, literally, we were just talking about how this game looked doomed for A, and now the game looks really bad for Team Wash here. If you guys are able to get that inhib, Wash never got the red inhib mid. It's going to be a pretty big lead there. It's going to be, you know what, it's very difficult at this point for Team Wash to actually contest this next Cloud Dragon because their mid inhib's down. And because their mid inhib's down, and this is sole point, it's a tough spot.
It's going to be a very, very tough spot, and it's one of those positions where I don't think this pendulum is swinging like hard one way or the other. It just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The gold is even. It is a 400 gold difference. There is no difference in the gold. The kills are even. This is one of those kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it an NA fiesta is why it ended up the way it did, but the way the scaling has worked out, the way the item and the gold distribution has worked out, it has allowed for so much comeback potential on both of these teams that really, I don't think there's a way to call it.
Honestly, I think that I think this is Team Oz game to lose. With the mid inhib down, and this is sole point, if you're able to get this Cloud Soul, you win the game. I think it's up for Team A to have good target selection in this next team fight, and if they do it, I think they can really come out this game with the win pretty easily.
Interestingly enough, we have the Oblivion Orb not completed into an item yet on the Cassiopeia. They opted to finish the Banshee's Veil first. I think that's probably a good idea just because of the fact that you need the Grievous Wounds, but you don't really like need it. It's definitely being able to avoid that CC that's far more important. Now we're seeing basically a reverse of the last fight that we saw, where now A has controlled the dragon. They're going to be the ones who have a choice to start it up or not. And while Wash is looking for that engage, they do find a target, and that is going to be huge as Katarina Ducat is deleted almost immediately. UV Red is on the back line trying to take out the Erebus as well, but is not able to do it. There's just too much healing coming out from Pure Llama. This fight goes absolutely the wrong way for A, as Ashe does so much damage, but MXL gets the passive shots up, barely able to find it. Not able to finish off the Cassiopeia, though, so that means that is going to be huge. The healing was just absolutely disgusting on Wash, able to keep Cass alive.
Yeah, wow, Wash barely able to come out of that fight with a win. They pick up the Cloud Dragon now. The game's not over. The game's definitely not over.
Oh, absolutely not. We got like 20 minutes
absolutely
left.
not. If game, oh my god. Oh, I hope not. If Team A had gotten the Cloud Dragon, it's over, but they didn't. Okay. Really disastrous team fight. Katarina just getting blown up instantly. So much damage coming out there. The Ashe arrow is so scary. That's one thing I didn't expect out of this game, was the Ashe to be so detrimental for Team A. I mean, that ability for her to be the engage is actually insane, and then Diana following it up with that big ult was huge.
See, that's the crazy thing about Ashe, is they're a champion that totally relies on their team to be to be totally useful. Like, they're still a decent champ, but just they need their allies to just kind of set things up for them. And once you hit that Ashe arrow, if there's someone able to follow up on that go button, it can just be so gross.
I mean, yeah, we saw there in that last fight, Vex just getting blown up instantly. I think she tried flashing away, right? And she still died so quickly.
If you flash that Mord mace wrong, it's gonna hit you still.
Yeah, it's still gonna hit you, right? Yeah. I think she actually ended up dying to the Demonic Embrace burn. But wow, and that's even with the mid inhib down for Team Wash. Didn't matter. I think maybe misplayed it a little bit in not just stalling for those super minions to hit buildings and maybe end the game.
That maybe a little bit, but the thing is, when you have an Ashe who can just hit the go button for you, there's not a lot you can do about it. We do have another Baron up. This is the third Baron of the game. Clearly, A wants to start this off. They want to kick it off and get things going. They're roaming down as 5-man. They're getting in on this Baron. They do throw out. That is going to be huge. Pure Llama does not have the Banshee's Veil yet. It's going to have to wait for it to come off cooldown. That is going to be a good 30 seconds before that happens. So this could be really, really bad if there's a good target of the CC.
Team Oz got to be very careful here. Blitzcrank not at full health, and they are down a little bit of gold. We do see that Kaisa now has the Quicksilver Sash, though. If Mordekaiser doesn't realize that she has that, maybe tries to ult her, could be very disastrous for Team A.
Could be disastrous. PJ Salt throws out the Ashe arrow, is going to find the target. We see the cleanse come out from that Quicksilver Sash. We've got a huge fight coming out right here. MXL does manage to take down Godex Anime. Those 5 stacks on the Kaisa passive doing so much to that health bar. Jaffe was able to get to the other side. Able to stay alive, though. Does get obliterated by the Mordekaiser with the classic full smash. And then we got PJ Salt now. The Magnetic Storm doing so much damage, but it's not going to be enough as MXL manages to get the final shots off. We have the ultimate coming out, dodging around the Pure Llama, trying to get the final shots off, but the poison and the burn and the kill coming out from the Yumi damage as well means that there is not an ace. Yumi is still alive. Oh my goodness.
Wow, and that Mordekaiser is such a raid boss in these fights. He takes so long to put down. It is absolutely insane. We actually see Cassiopeia sells her Oblivion Orb here. It looks like she's opting for a different item. But oh my god, that Mordekaiser is just the key. It is the key keeping Wash in these fights.
It is so rough watching both of these teams throw everything they've got into these fights and then just have the slight mispositionings, the slight split up fights that it just goes completely the wrong way, and there's no way to really call it once things get going.
It looks like we are going to be able to see whose team really scales better this game. Gold is almost dead even, 33 to 32 kills, coming into 40 minutes now. Dragon's up in a minute. I think this is going to be the team fight that decides the game. I think
it's either going to be this one or it's going to be the one in about 8 minutes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, or maybe they go for Baron.
Yep. Ash Arrow's going to find a target on the Udyr. We're going to see Diana jump in on that, but unfortunately Red is just tanky enough in order to stop anything too crazy from happening. The Yuumi is throwing out the ult exceptionally early. Erebus is getting caught out by a hook, gets completely blown up. That is going to be a Baron stop.
Uh-oh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Erebus getting blown up there could be really, really bad. He's not going to be up to help set up for this Dragon.
Getting chased down, gets hit by the Decimate, does get the healing, gets pulled back into this fight. Pure Llama gets executed as the guillotine chops that snake's head off, and then you got PJ Salt trying to do what they can, chasing Jaffe around in the death realm, but he's going to come out to 4 members of Team A. If he doesn't do this quick enough, is not able to. That is going to be the triple kill for MXL. They could just straight up take this and end the game.
No,
what
I
are
think
they
that's
doing
it.
going after the Diana? Red does manage to stop the back, does manage to actually keep them fighting here. We got the rest of Team Wash just pushing in on the rest of the base as Anime is the only one available to stop them, and that is going to be game as the Nexus goes down.
Wow. And just like that, the game ends. Crazy. I was having a lot of fun actually watching this Udyr Diana tickle fight up in the jungle. But wow, that's
the rest
crazy.
Of the base is getting obliterated.
Yeah,
yes.
while the base is getting obliterated. I mean, they're literally doing more damage to the buildings than Diana's doing to Udyr. Anyway, wow. And just like that, the game's over. I mean, unfortunately, the Cassiopeia just getting caught out by Darius's ghost there means that there's no front line to help her. And once she goes down, that's really the heart of Team Wash. And just one by one, they get picked off until eventually Mordekaiser coming out of that spirit realm gets blown up. And Team A takes game 1.
They take game 1, and I have to admit, I'm going to be honest, I thought this was going to go in a completely different direction for this series. I thought it was going to be a 3-0 series. I'm still thinking that, but depending on how these drafts go, it could very well swing the other direction, and that is going to be absolutely crazy. That is going to be something to watch out for. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our next game.